Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we have a little review. I have not decided what it's going to be on yet, so stay tuned. I would like to give a shout out to my subscribers, and if you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, but actually shout out to Anna. I know Anna watches all my videos. Shout out to you, Anna. If you're watching this, thank you for making me feel appreciated. So yeah, smash that subscribe button. And let's get into the video, AP Gov review, TBD on the topic. So as you know, this is an exam prep thing. So we're just gonna bounce back between different topics. I think yesterday's video was with grants, which is unit 2. We're gonna stay in unit 2 and we're gonna do committees and debate rules today. So quick background, we know there are two branches of two houses in Congress, the House of Representatives and then the Senate. And in order to get anything done, they have to kind of divide themselves up into these subgroups called committees. So all committees really do is conduct hearings and then also compare bills against the Constitution to make sure they're all good. And so they're just groups of people that try to pass things and meet together and will talk, and just makes the whole process easier because there are a lot of representatives in the House, and 100 in the Senate is still quite a bit to get things passed, and you need both houses of Congress to pass bills. It's a whole thing, so they try to make it as easy as possible. So there are 3 different kinds of committees. There's a standing committee, there are select committees, and there are conference committees. So the standing committees are just permanent committees, comprised, there's not written in the Constitution, but they are always comprised of the majority party just because it's how it's going to work. If you have your majority party being one party, the majority of the committee is going to be the majority. So it's not written. Theoretically, there could be a Democratic committee, a Democratic standing committee if the majority of the House is Republican, but it just won't, in practice, it won't ever be that way. So these committees consider legislation and oversee things, and they have oversight power. And so remember, they are permanent committees that are usually always comprised of the majority party. They also have a lot of leadership. Next are select committees, which are selected for certain things. So they are temporary committees held for things like investigating bills or issuing subpoenas, things like that. They are just specific committees that are temporary, and they're formed for something to get accomplished, for something to be discovered or learned. So it's just you got your permanent versus temporary committees. It's not a very hard concept, and this is just the broken down version because for tests and quizzes, it doesn't usually go much further than that. The last one is a conference committee, which is where the House and the Senate come together. It's a lot of people, but they come together. So in order for bills to be passed, both the Senate and the House have to pass 2 versions of the same bill. So they all have to agree on the wording, what the bill contains, all that. You should know this because this is part of Unit 2. However, if they cannot come to this agreement of passing the same thing, they can get a committee of everyone in the entire legislative branch and sort their problems out and word the bill however they want to, or however they can word it to get everyone to pass it, basically. So it's just everyone comes together and tries to pass a bill. There was also things like the Committee of the Whole in the House, which is just made up committee. It's just basically when they want to get if they want to get some kind of something passed or some kind of agreement set where they're okay, can everyone in the Committee of the Whole agree that the date is March 4th or something, and that just means they can get everyone to agree on something, and the Committee of the Whole is just the entire House of Representatives. Anyways, on to the debate policy and rules. Quickly, before I do that, I would like to go into just quickly state, if you will, that the Senate and the House do have different jobs when it comes to passing legislation and doing what they do. So the House focuses more on passing revenue bills and types and that thing, and the Senate more confirms ambassadors, federal judges, and that kind of thing, and ratifies treaties. So they have more of a lengthy process when it comes to debates, versus when the House, they focus on revenue bills and setting budgets and things like more passing bills, and the Senate's more of confirming things and pointing and that kind of thing. Before we go into debate rules, it is important to know that the Senate and the House were also created for different purposes. So when creating the legislative branch, the framers knew that it would be the largest branch and the most powerful because it's of its mass and it's what it does. And so they created the Senate to be this kind of saucepan, if you will, of these elitist, more educated, smaller group of people to make sure that the bills getting passed were wise and they were formatted correctly and they were worded and they were just overall a good decision for the people, versus the House, which has a lot of people because it's per district, per state, there's 500 something people, and it's to get bills pumping out fast to try to keep up with the demand of the people and stay relevant and modern and do things that will benefit the people. And the Senate to come in and be like, hold on, let's slow it down as it trickles down. So the Senate has much less rules on debate to hopefully slow down the process. So since there are Since there are so many representatives in the House, they have certain time limits for how long they can speak in committees, like for debating. They have like 5 minutes. I don't know, depends on every context, all the context, there needs to be context for it. So whatever the context is, there is certain limits, time limits for debates, what you can talk about, rules set by the Speaker of the House, things like that. But what we're going to focus on is the lack of rules that the Senate has, because they have 100 senators, and so they can talk and talk and talk. And so in order, I'm gonna break this down. Again, the Senate was supposed to be this in between, making sure this almost editor of the bills, and so they have no rules on debate. And so if a bill comes to the Senate that majority of them all agree on, like, yeah, this is great, the bill says we should not be able to pollute the rivers, and one guy's like, but I really want to pollute the rivers. In order to slow down the process and delay, he can do something. He can exercise a power called the power to filibuster, which in its simplicity means that he can talk and talk and talk forever if he wanted to, in hopes that it would tire out the Senate and feel like they're just wasting time, or get closer and closer to the end of the congressional term, and just waste time, so the other senators either get pissed off or like, this is no point. And so they will motion a cloture, which basically means, hey, we will vote to not pass the bill if you just shut up. Like, if you stop talking, we'll pass the bill, or we won't pass the bill. No harm done, no harm, no foul. And so that's that. And senators can go on for that's a lot of filler words. So there needs to be 60 senators that are like, hey, if you just shut up, dude, we won't pass the bill. It's not that deep. You're wasting our own time. Which the House cannot do this, because that would take so much more time, because there's just so many more of them, and there'd be so much more disagreement. There's a lot more compromise within the House than there's in the Senate. So that is really, for me personally, I don't remember needing to know anything else on the tests or quizzes or the exam, the mock exam, coming from someone that also scores very highly in all of them. So I don't remember needing to go into any more depth. They mainly focus on the Senate, because the Senate's special with the power of the filibuster and that kind of thing. So that's it, an overview of it, a little loose. Yeah, so Unit 2, that's the hardest unit in AP Gov. So smash that subscribe button, join the happy subscribers. Peace out, guys.